All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the June 3rd, 2024 Town Council meeting to order. First thing we'll do this evening, if everyone could please stand, I'm going to ask Councilwoman Christopher to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Once we're Southington, where State Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier lost his life. I would just like to obviously extend to our neighbors to the south our thoughts, our prayers with the family, friends, employees who had the opportunity to work with Aaron. But at this time, I would just like to ask for a moment of silence and just kind of keep his family, like I said, his family and friends in your thoughts and your prayers. So a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. At that point, everyone can be seated. What we'll do now is we do have a couple presentations. And once I get my paperwork organized, we had our very successful Memorial Day parade last Monday. It did start raining about, 30 steps into it, but we all survived. Clothing has dried out. One of the nice things about Memorial Day, obviously, is just to recognize what was sacrificed for that day. But we have some wonderful students in town who get to write essays, and we actually had 4 students in town who are recognized for the essay they wrote for Memorial Day. We have one of them is with us tonight. I'll introduce the other 3 winners. 2, Mason, oh, there you are. Okay, sorry about that. So we have 2. We have from the middle school who just couldn't be here tonight, was the middle school winner, and Kaylin Sayachek. And I apologize if that's not the right pronunciation, but that's the information I was given. But from the high school, she also won for the high school. Tonight we do have the 2 elementary school winners. We have Lillian Wilson from Linden Street School, and we have Mason Jones from Wheeler. I'm going to ask you to come up to the podium, and if you'll read your essay for us, we would love to hear it once again in person. So who wants to go first? Very good. So why don't you step up over here? We'll talk you through making sure that you'll see a big button there on the bottom. Press the big button. That turns on, and just introduce yourself, your name, and what school do you go to?
Hi, I'm Mason. I'm from Wheeler School.
How do you like school?
Pretty good.
Good. What's your favorite part of school?
Math.
Oh, really? I expected recess or lunch. Yeah. Good job. Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead. If you want to share your essay with us, go ahead.
Thank you. What Memorial Day Means to Me by Mason Jones. What Memorial Day is the day that we honor all of the soldiers who fought and died to save our United States freedom. The first war that happened in this country was the American Revolution, when the American colonists wanted freedom from England and King George. Years later, there were the French and Indian Wars that took place in America. Then the Civil Wars fought between the North and the South to give freedom to the slaves. Then it was World War I, and we fought against the Germans to save the freedom from the ships going back and forth. Then came World War II. One of the major reasons was to save the Jewish people from being threatened by the Germans. These soldiers were important to the United States because they helped us fight, and soldiers risked their lives to save our country. This is the only reason why this country is safe right now and it is free. Memorial Day to me is the day to celebrate the soldiers that sacrificed their lives in war.
Thank you. Good job. Have you had to do that before? Did a very good job. Lillian, Are you ready? This is Lillian Wilson again. She's from Linden Street School. Microphone's already on, so just introduce yourself. And what's your favorite part of school? Reading. Excellent.
To many people, Memorial Day is just a day from school or work. Many people do not understand the importance of Memorial. Memorial Day is the day we honor and remember the soldiers who have lost their lives serving in the United States military. It is also a somber day of remembrance for men and women who have died for our country. I hope you understand and find out the true meaning of Memorial Day. It is important to focus on my next reason, which is the history of Memorial Day. Memorial Day is always celebrated on the last Monday of May. It was not always called Memorial Day, it was called Decoration Day. Decoration Day was a day to give a medal or award to honor bravery to whoever fought in the Civil War. In 1971, our National Holiday Act declared Memorial Day a federal holiday to be celebrated on the last Monday in May. The last Monday in May is an official day off from work and school. This can also be a time to give thanks back to those men and women who fought for our country. My second reason is different ways to celebrate Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a day we honor the soldiers who have died serving for our country. It can also be a summer day of remembrance for some people. One way people celebrate is by placing flowers on their graves to honor soldiers who have fallen. Today, people in England or in Canada pin red poppies to their shirts and coats to remember the soldiers who have died fighting in the war. Another way people might celebrate is by placing a flag next to a grave on Memorial Day. These are all reasons how people might celebrate Memorial Day. Lastly, I'm going to be talking about what Memorial Day means to me. What Memorial Day means to me is a day to give back and say thanks to the men and women who fought for us. In other words, Memorial Day means a time to be thankful and grateful for those fighting for us and protecting us in every way. My family sometimes gets together with close friends for Memorial Day. I want to make Memorial Day a tradition in our family where we can hang a flag in our yard or give poppies to soldiers. I feel this holiday will become an important part of our family.
Thank you. Very good. Before you guys go, we have a couple Plainville pins for you to take with you. So Councilwoman Christopher's got the basket. And while she's doing that, we also, again, congratulations. Great job. Appreciate you guys making time to come out tonight. It's not always easy to come and talk in front of a room full of people. So congratulations again. Hopefully we'll see you in the future, back maybe another year. That would be great. So we have one more presentation tonight, and the good thing is this is becoming a habit. We seem to see you guys every year, which is great. So our Vex IQ robotics team is here. I don't know if you have any setup you need to do, or you want to show us anything. But before we actually go ahead. You guys do what you need to do. I'll just keep talking until it's time for you guys to show us what you guys accomplished. We've seen how and what they did. We do have a proclamation we'd like to read to you tonight. Councilman Gettman is going to read the proclamation. But just to give everyone, you guys were state champs. Is that correct? What, you guys were state champs, or where'd you finish? You did finish as state champs. Yeah. Well, that's congratulations on that. So I'll let you guys start talking now. We're just gonna stand up so we can see.
Yeah. Basically,
Hey, you're good.
so if you notice, the green are going down the bottom. Because this is just a corner of the playing field, and they get points for putting them in those clear neat holes. But if they mixed colors, they didn't get as many points. So they sort prior to putting them in color.
Now, is this something you started working on at the beginning of the school year?
Yeah.
So we're able to like make improvements as you learn different things each year, and that the following year you can go ahead and like improve, I guess, for lack of a better word. Excellent.
And like it shows to the level of dedication that like Blue Maddox was a good thing last year, and it's just training and supporting like that.
And for those that might not know what pneumatics means, what does that mean?
Air powered cylinders that can transfer to motion. But the kids assured me that if I bought pneumatics, that they will be able to learn to use them. And sure enough, they did.
So you both held up your end of the bargain, I guess, right? Well, congratulations. So what I'd like to do now, I'm going to ask Councilman Getterman has a proclamation he'd like to read. Anyone who's part of the robotics team, if you want to step over to the podium. Bring whatever signs you want, banners. Now, I'm going to ask, once we're done, we are going to want to get a couple pictures, so don't run away right away. I'm going to try to organize this a little bit.
I'm just gonna have you guys line up like right over here. No, in here. No. The sizes. The sizes. This is the second time I've seen it. You know what you guys want to move?
And we'll do our best to keep everyone together, so pictures.
I'm just gonna have you guys move down so you can be on camera, because the camera's over there. So if you guys just want to move this way a little bit. Yeah. You guys can stay close. It's okay.
Oh, you can, that's all right if you sneak in the back there. That's okay.
Yeah. You ready? Okay. Proclamation recognizing the VexIQ Robotics State Championship. Whereas the VexIQ Robotics is part of the Robotics Education and Competition Foundation that provides programs with services, solutions for communities to foster the technical and interpersonal skills necessary for students to succeed in the 21st century. And whereas through the continued support of companies such as NEMSA, Carling Technologies, Inc., Walker Crane and Rigging, the Plainville Police Union, Connecticut Spring and Stamping, D'Amico Construction, Aquarian Water Company, for the past 10 years, teachers and students from the middle school of Plainville were able to enter into local and state competitions where they excelled and secured spots that qualified them to proceed to the world competition in Dallas, Texas. And whereas Team 10931A, Raymond and Simon Casabruco, Team 10931B, Ansh Patel and Evan Rodriguez, Team 10931D, Corinne Gagnon and Bella Martin, Team 10931E, Ryan Bond, Devin Landrette and Henry Posner, and Team 10931F, Landon Pierce, Paul Pellerin, and Miles Couture won multiple awards multiple times throughout the season, including the Excellence Award, Driver Skills Award, Teamwork Champions Award, and Design Award. And Team 10931A also placed ninth in their division at the World event in Dallas, Texas. And whereas the Plainville teams are the winningest teams in the history of Connecticut VexIQ. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Town Council of the Town of Plainville, on behalf of all our citizens, do hereby extend to all the Plainville teams involved in the VexIQ Robotics State Championship and World Championship to their technology education teacher, Camille Westfall, and to the PHS mentors, Ballaston Casabruco and Mikhail Bastian. Our sincere congratulations on a job well done and our best wishes for continued success in the future. Dated at Plainville, Connecticut, the 6th day of June 2024, Plainville Town Council, Christopher Wazorko Chairman, Rosemary Moranti, Vice Chairwoman, Quinn Christopher, Benjamin Getteman, Daniel Hurley, Deborah Tompkins, and David Underwood. Actually, it's the third, not the sixth. Yeah.
Now, everybody, don't move. We're going to get some pictures. If anyone wants to come over and take pictures, feel free. Give us like 20 seconds to get all the pictures. And for anyone, there are copies of the proclamation on the front table right here. If anyone wants to take one home, feel free to grab one and take it with you. All right, I think one more picture. Everybody's good with pictures before we let them go, because we may not get them all back together again once we let them free. All right, well, once again, congratulations, you guys. Excellent job. Hopefully we'll get to see you guys again next year. Now we'll give it a couple minutes. I know most of you want to stay and see how town government runs, but we understand if you have something more important to do tonight. But if you need to leave, obviously that's okay. We'll give you a couple minutes to leave the chambers. All right, so as they're exiting, what we'll do is I'll continue with the agenda. We have no public hearing scheduled for this evening. Item 3 is minutes of the previous meeting. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman Christopher.
motion to approve the minutes of the May 20th, 2024 regular meeting.
Motion and a second. Any comments, questions, or changes? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Announcements and reports. Do we have any announcements and reports?
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to comment that the Plainville Historical Society was very thrilled about being featured in the Manager's Minute on the town's Facebook page. The town manager, Michael Paulus, featured the few good, nice words about the society itself, and also about the upcoming program that we held last Wednesday, which was a great success. We had a large crowd, and I know the Historical Society really appreciated it.
All right. Anyone else with any announcement or report?
Just real quick, on behalf of the Memorial Day Parade Committee, we'd like to thank everyone in town that came out and everyone that participated in the parade, and a special thanks to the Plainville Police Department, Public Works Department, Town Manager, and Assistant Town Manager. We could not have done it without you. Thank you very much.
Anyone else with an announcement or report?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just have a few things from the chamber. And all of this information can be found on centralctchambers.org. They are selling their late compounds tickets. It's $25 a person, and it includes park admission and parking. I'm excited. This Wednesday is the 134th annual dinner where H.W. Green is going to be recognized as the Plainville business, and I will be attending and can't wait. And the chamber's also having their 33rd annual golf tournament on August 5th at Texas Country Club. So if you are interested, you can go online and register. And lastly, next Monday at 3 o'clock, I'll be going to a ribbon cutting in Plainville. It's at E-Spot Gaming Center, and it's at 17 Farmington Ave. So if anyone's bored next Monday at 3, you can come join me at the ribbon cutting. That's it.
Oops, sorry about that. Anyone else with any announcements or reports? I just quickly, I know the school year is winding down, but Plainville High School had a nice spring sports season. And I just wanted to, I know technically the seasons aren't over, but I wanted to acknowledge that the outdoor boys and girls track team both won conference titles this year. The boys outdoor track finished 10th overall in the Class M championships that were held last week. The girls finished 4th, and this is out of about 30 schools or so that are in the Class M tournament this year. And I'd also like to recognize the boys baseball and girls softball team. Both made it to the quarterfinals of the Class M tournament this year. While I'm sure they would have loved to have moved on, certainly, having them both make the quarterfinals, I'm not so sure any other schools in the state have had the success in the spring sports that Plainville just had. So I'd like to just acknowledge them this evening before they are off on vacation for the school year. So congratulations to the high school teams. Very good season. Is there anybody else that has anything they'd like to announce or report? All right, we can move item 5, appointments, resignations. We don't have any on the agenda. Is there any other appointments that came up or any resignations that anyone has to add? All right, we can move. I guess we are moving right to item 7, report of the town attorney. Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have anything to report. Thank you.
All right, any questions for the town attorney? All right, we are moving right along. We are up to the town manager report. Good evening, Mr. Town Manager.
Good evening. I'm happy to report on 8 items, and then, as usual, I will hand over item 9, happenings, to the assistant town manager. Item number 1 is about the fourth quarter transfers. There is an item under new business that would schedule a public hearing for the June 17th town council meeting on the recommended fourth quarter transfers. At this point, I'm happy to report that the finance director has told me that there will not be a necessary additional appropriation needed for this year, which means that we're actually doing very well budgeting, and what we spend, we're on target. I think that is the same target that we had last year without an appropriation, so I'm very pleased with that. I was hoping to have details on the transfers for you this evening, but will not have that until Monday at the hearing. We're actually, I think he's finishing up that by Wednesday, so not really. Item number 2 is the underground storage tanks for the roadways department. The existing underground storage tank used at the department's fueling station on Ranger Lane is reaching the end of its life in 2025, and limitations from Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection and our insurance provider are requiring us to remove the tank. It's just obsolete. It's run its course and end of its life cycle. So it's buried. It needs to come out of the ground. So funding for this project has been set aside in both the ARPA and capital funds. Our intention is to engage a contractor to properly remove the existing tank and install a new one above ground storage tank and fueling station. And this will be one that can be moved should there be a conversation about the future of a location for an upgrade and renovation for that garage facility. This will be designed around that, so we don't have to do it twice. It'll be designed to be portable and be able to move it. So we'd like to establish a public hearing to consider the use of ARPA funding for this project. We expect to use $300,000 of ARPA funding, but that number may be adjusted depending on our research and review of the proposals that come in. We'll obviously have to send this out for proposals, and we'll have a dollar amount that will be set prior to the publishing of the public hearing legal notice. So there is an item under new business to set a public hearing date for June 17th for the use of ARPA funds. That is our process that has been consistent, that we go to public hearing to establish that appropriation first, and then we'll go through the process of getting the numbers for the final numbers for the project. Item number 3 is donation of land, open space, and this is something that we'll discuss in executive session. Item 4 is the revenue collector suspense list. The revenue collector has submitted a proposed suspense list to the town council totaling $109,528.62. The list is prepared in accordance with the Connecticut State Statute Section 12-165, listing those taxes that the revenue collector believes to be uncollectible. This breakdown is that motor vehicles totals $26,925.14. Personal property totals $70,908.20, and real estate totals $11,695.28. And of that further breakdown, deceased persons who previously owned motor vehicles and/or personal property total $1,510.35. The suspense list may still be collected and will be turned over to either a collection agency, the town attorney, or town constables under statute. The deceased file will not be turned over. Collections from last year totaled approximately $93,000, and the previous year before that was $53,000. So there are still items and taxes that we can collect through that process. But there is an item under new business regarding the suspense list for this evening. Item number 5 is the Farmington Canal Heritage Trail update. I thought it'd be an opportune time to get a breakdown where we are. Obviously, the state is driving that process and collaborating with us on that process, and they like to number projects with long numbers, but for ease of conversation, for Plainville, there are 3 different phases. So phase 1 is on schedule. That is the southern section coming from something near entering Norton Park. That is on schedule for construction to start in fall of 2025. So permits are ready to be sent to the regulatory agencies for their review and final approval. Phase 2 is the section coming out of Farmington, and that leaves phase 3, which is the middle and most complex piece in downtown area, if we will. But phase 2 is on schedule for construction to start likely spring of 2026. It's possible it could be winter of 25, but most likely spring of 2026, and hopefully without any hiccups or delays there. Design approval is pending with the Federal Highway Administration for signature, and the project authorization letter, or the PAL, has been drafted and will be sent to me for signature once it's complete. Phase 3, as I mentioned, is the most complex and will take more design time. As you recall, we had a presentation here, and the state detailed the color plan with cross sections of the Route 177 and Route 372 spur alignments that have been developed. The design team is working in response to the town council's questions. So this piece in the middle, phase 3, allows for, it's actually what they the state refers to as the north-south alignment, right? So Plainville is the last piece in the puzzle that will eventually take you all the way from New Haven through to Massachusetts. But when the north-south alignment comes through, it can connect with an east-west trail that will head to connect you with New Britain and the transportation hub in New Britain. So there's more detail to be worked out there. The council submitted a list of questions. Bill Hogan, who's the lead for DOT, said they are physically surveying the proposed phase 3 alternative, and once they have more detailed information on the survey results, they'll be better able to answer the questions that the council has submitted. He has indicated one exception, being the question 2 around Pierce Street. That was initially presented by DOT. It would be a partial one-way where there'd be no outlet onto West Main Street, but there'd be adequate turnaround design and signs posted at both the north and south entrance to Pierce Street. So it's still very much phase 3, still very much a work in progress. Again, phase 1 construction is ready. It's just getting lined up. Phase 2 has to get through final design, and then we're still working phase 3 on the alignment, so to speak. And so there will be an upcoming meeting.
Okay.
I believe will happen this summer. I thought it was going to happen for June, but I haven't seen any communication.
Okay.
So maybe pushed off to July.
And that's
Again,
fine, because I know
public
we,
information.
coming out of that first meeting on phase 3, I think there was, I don't know, concerns or questions
Of
came
course.
out of that we did want to follow up with them to make sure I felt we needed maybe a little bit more time to flush out some of the options they were, or at least what the plan was, what plan they were presenting as opposed to some of the other plans we've seen.
So I'll be happy to communicate that or
Yeah.
forward that information when it becomes available.
All right, thank you.
Sure. Item 6 is water pollution control facility discussion. The town of Plainville owns, operates, and maintains a water pollution control facility and approximately 86 miles of gravity sewer mains varying in size from 6-inch diameter to 42-inch diameter, and nine wastewater pump stations throughout the community. Plainville's collection system conveys wastewater flow into the water pollution control facility for treatment prior to discharge into the Quabbin River. The water pollution control facility is designed to treat an average daily flow of 2.6 million gallons per day. However, most recently, the average daily flow consistently exceeds the design flow that the state has an issue with. And they picked that up on a recent visit, that there are times, and I have submitted a color copy for you in red. Those are the...
A lot of red.
A lot of red, yeah. A lot of red there, and significant. If you look at it, we're approaching 6.6, or we have exceeded 6.6, 6.7 million gallons, and it's as the superintendent says it. On those days, it's just the meter's just pegged, and that's what it's measuring, but it's probably even higher than that. I mean, these 100-year floods come and every other year. It kind of feels that way. But we've had two of the wettest years on record in recent years. So there's some issues with the flow. And on a recent inspection of the facility, state personnel reminded the superintendent of the language in the permit, which states that when the arithmetic mean of the average daily flow for the water pollution control facility for the previous 180 days exceeds 90% of the design flow rate, the committee shall develop and submit within 1 year from when the date such threshold was exceeded for review and approval of the commissioner a plan to accommodate future increase in flow to that plan. So this plan shall include schedule for completing and recommended improvements and a plan for financing the improvements. So we're under notice that there's something we need to do about that. And there's really only two ways that I am told that can address this issue. And this is really an issue of infiltration, water infiltration through the piping system, what they call I&I, and or expansion and design of the treatment facility itself. Those are, so you can go out and look at the piping and the distribution that through different cracks and breaks and things that water is coming, rainwater is coming into the wastewater and spiking those numbers. So again, as I reported, is an extensive 86 miles of gravity fed system. We would, in theory, be spending millions of dollars for an I&I study and repair, if you will. On the design side, we think there's a better opportunity for funding on the design. So there is no funding that we're aware of for I&I, but for design upgrades and increase, there would be grants and low interest loans through the water fund. So we're in the very early stages of putting together an RFQ for a study proposal to do that, to see what plan we can come together with and what the state will work with us in terms of design and meeting the goals of permit, and that's what it's all about. It comes down to it's a class 4 facility with a permit for 2.6 million gallons, and you know, and on dry years, I guess we're fine. It's not an issue, but it becomes an issue when we have to report and record these numbers, and they just, as you see from the chart, spike right off the chart. So that becomes a problem, and one that we are mandated to address, and so we will. We'll start that process and begin the research.
About how long do you think that will take?
That's a great question.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I imagine at some point the council's going to have to get involved in more detailed manner.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. In terms of, getting through the RFQ process, and I will defer to Andy. He might have a comment on that or no. Yeah, so in terms of the process, but at least a couple of months or weeks to get through the process, and then the study. I'm not sure how long it will take.
Okay. All right.
And then, of course, we come back to the council to
Yep.
give you an update on
All right.
that.
So we're
Yeah.
looking at months anyway.
Yeah, we're looking to issue the RFQ this week. That'll be out for the remainder of the month. Wrap that up toward the end of June, early July. Then we have the review process, and because we are seeking a state funding, there's a state approval process as well, which typically takes a couple months.
Okay.
So,
So
quote
we're-
me on it, but we probably wouldn't be looking to start the project until the study until like fall,
Okay.
maybe late fall.
All right. But just with our summer meeting schedule, I know we can always call a special meeting if we have to, but it sounds like this may not happen till September anyway. So, okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 7 is just a discussion on setting the summer schedule. The town council has historically held only one regular meeting during the months of July, August, and September. I'm suggesting that we follow that same meeting schedule and suggesting July 15th, August 19th, and September 16th. So there's an item under new business regarding those suggested dates. And number 8 is a discussion on the recycling processing agreement that we have with ERFFOC and Murphy Recycling Road. This is a new 5-year term. We've been sending, I think Plainville's been sending to Murphy Road for quite a long time. And BRRFOC means the Bristol Resource Recovery Facility Operating Committee, acting on behalf of participating municipalities, of which Plainville is a member, along with 11 other towns that make up the group, the consortium, if you will. And I placed a copy of the agreement in the packet. I think it's really the only game in town, quite honestly. Did the committee? I think the committee worked really hard to get a lot of changes in there, and succeeded in getting a decent rate for the communities. Each of the 11 communities will have to vote on this separately, but then transfer to BRROC. I'll have to have the clerk certify a copy and send it over. But it's a rate. It's the new world we live in. If the council remembers, just a short 4 or 5 years ago, we were in the business of making money off of recycling, and then China closed the door on that and turned everything on its head. And so it's one of those things we struggle with, but try to budget for, and I think we'll be fine. We didn't want to go too short and too long, and felt that 5-year, or the group of the committee felt that a 5-year term would be adequate, just because nobody has a crystal ball, and we think we got the best pricing that we could for the deal. So there is a item under new business regarding that 5-year agreement. It's really just a renewals where we've been for a long time.
All right. Any questions? Not only the recycling, but any questions on the town manager's report? Comments?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Just on the suspense list, just to confirm, the $93,000 that was collected last year was collected by a collection agency.
Yes, I believe
Yes.
so. I will confirm with the office tax office in with Sarah.
Right. And would that be the plan this year as
Oh, yeah,
well?
same.
That's usually, that would be the first choice. I know there's other choices, but it would be to go with the collection agency.
Right. Yeah, and I want to
Mhm.
just verify that that would be the
Okay.
same company. I think it was a pretty successful track record thus far.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All right. I think we're
Now it's Andy.
up to happenings.
Yeah, don't forget the happenings.
Never.
We're here all day for these. State Representative Francis Cooley and State Senator Henry Martin encourage residents to retire their worn American flags. Flags may be donated between now and June 13th at designated bins in the Municipal Center and the Plainville Public Library. The Plainville Anti-Racism Task Force will be hosting their second annual Juneteenth celebration on Wednesday, June 19th. The celebration will take place at Veterans Memorial Park from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and you can learn more about the history behind Juneteenth and celebrate with residents and local officials. This is a free event and will feature music and performances. The town clerk's office is reminding dog owners that all dogs over the age of 6 months must be licensed by June 30th for the 2024-2025 year. Renewals may be done in person or by mail. If the dog's rabies certificate is up to date, their license can be renewed online at www.plainvillect.com. If this is the first time a dog is being licensed, or if the rabies certificate is not up to date, dogs must submit their updated rabies information for the license to be processed. For more information, you can call the town clerk's office at 860-793-0221, extension 7153. And if you're in the audience, our town clerk's here. You can stop her after the meeting. You're welcome. The Summer Concert Series, the 2024 Plainville Recreation Summer Concert Series, kicks off on Thursday, June 20th at 6:30 p.m. There will be 6 concerts throughout the summer, all taking place at Norton Park. The event is free to attend, and for more information, you can call the Recreation Department at 860-747-6022 or visit www.plainvillect.com/recreation-department. From the Plainville Public Library, and for any information on library programs, including registration, you can call the library at 860-793-1446 or visit www.plainvillect.com/library. The Summer Library Adventures kicks off with the quest for the cacaupa. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's a bird species from Australia and New Zealand, but the summer kickoff, it begins on Friday, June 21st at 2 p.m. It's for ages 5 to 11 with a caregiver. The caterpillar hunter travels the world to rescue a rare endangered parrot known as the cacaupu. Yeah, that's not landing right. It sounded closer. In New Zealand. In doing so, the audience will learn about the many efforts underway to preserve precious habits and protect the endangered species that live in them. Please note that no live animals will be in attendance. Smartphone photography workshop on Thursday, June 6th at 6 p.m. Andy Mars, a freelancer photographer, will present a hands-on workshop covering photo editing techniques and how to take better pictures on a smartphone. How to write your own story on Tuesdays, June 18th, 25th, and July 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th at 6 p.m. This is a 6-week summer class led by Judy Humphrey, and it's open to adults interested in committing to writing about their lives. And finally, from the Senior Center, and for all programs related to the Senior Center, you can call them at 860-747-5728, and all programs are free and open to the public unless otherwise indicated. Grandparents Raising Grandchildren is hosting a special night presentation called When the Backpack Isn't Just a Backpack. It's on Wednesday, June 5th at 6 p.m. You can learn about the trends of vaping, drugs, social media, and related behaviors seen within our youth. It's presented by the Plainville School Resource Officer, Jessica Garrett. The Knitting and Crochet exhibit of artistry in Yarn Reception. The reception is on Monday, June 10th at 2 p.m., and you can call the Senior Center to register. The exhibit itself will be on display at the Senior Center from June 10th to June 21st. And finally, Tips to Optimize Brain Health. This is the second part in a 2-part series. It's on Tuesday, June 11th at 2 p.m. It is free to attend, and Dr. Wendy Hurwitz will present easy, simple, drug-free things that you can do that you may prevent, reduce, or even reverse cognitive decline and strategies to optimize brain health. Registration is required, so you can call the Senior Center to do so. That's all.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions, comments that haven't been asked
Mr.
yet?
Chairman,
Yes.
what kind of bird was that again?
You know, I was on Google and I like how to pronounce this word and I wrote it down phonetically and I just still can't do it.
All right. Anyone else? Any follow up to that? We're all set. Well, thank you for your reports this evening. We will now move to item 9, public comments. Anyone that wishes to address the council may do so. Please step forward to the podium. Make sure the microphone's on. Give your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes to make your comments. The first ring means you have 30 seconds left. The second ring means your time has run out. So is there anyone that wishes to address the council? You both raised your hand at the same time. You guys work it out.
Marilyn Charette, 18 Milford Street, Plainville. I'm going to start the evening off with a nice note. First of all, I want to say thank you very much. You did a wonderful job on the parking lot, public parking lot. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure a lot of other people do too. So thank you very much for addressing that. Number 2, I want to say I was so impressed with the way you all handled yourself in that downpour. Exactly 9 o'clock. We were out there, and my hat's off to you. You did an awesome, awesome job.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to address something that might be a little testy. I think with the number of people that show up in Plainville at the town council meetings, you might consider going from 3 to at least 5 minutes. I'm not saying more than that, but I am saying that, it's not like every room in here is filled. I mean, every seat is filled. And I think out of respect to us, the citizens, I think it's something that, I've never run out of time. Oh, yes, I did. I lie. I did one time. But I would appreciate it if you would seriously consider changing it. And I'm not saying that for John.
Yeah.
I'm saying it for everybody. Thank you very much.
Well, if he did put you up to it, make sure the check clears before you. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Hi, Ted Lewandowski, 7 Shepherd Lane. We're part of the Honor Heights redoing. And I spoke to on Memorial Day, spoke to you and Chris. We have sidewalks, or we have a neighborhood with half sidewalks and without. And I guess there was a proposal to replace those sidewalks at some point. We're looking to get rid of the sidewalks. I don't think anyone without a sidewalk right now, like my mother lives on one street, my mother-in-law lives on that same street, would want sidewalks. But I would think the majority, I don't know if you have to go around and do a survey or something, but just on Shepherd Street alone, Shepherd Lane, where I live, they want them gone. There may be some people who may want to keep them, but we just don't see any sense into it when you have half a neighborhood that has them and the other half doesn't. And some of the most busy areas, like Preventure Drive, does not have them. So I would think it would save a great deal of money, liability, and pain of cleaning those things off during the winter time. But I don't know if that would make sense or.
And we've had some real brief discussions. It's something
Okay.
that I had not thought about.
Yep.
Yeah. Why do we need them there? Because it looks like maybe they put them in with the first houses that went in and then decided.
No, actually the first houses were clear. It must have been with Joe Lippy at the time. I've lived there for quite a while.
Yeah.
He may have. I would have thought he would have been grandfathered in, but somebody made him put those in.
Okay.
And they end. There's some people that almost got ticketed because they said, "Oh, you didn't clean your sidewalk off," and the guy would say, "It ends in grass here."
Yeah.
And it's been like that. And actually, Mr. Unwood lived in that neighborhood. And he knows about those things ending. So
Well, thank you for bringing it up. We are going to be discussing it, because we know some of the sidewalks there are in dire
Yes.
need of repair, and maybe now's the time to ask that question.
Yeah,
too.
some of
Are
them
they
just
needed?
end to go nowhere, and
Yep.
it just doesn't
Yep.
make sense.
Yep.
And I'm sure you don't want to add sidewalks to that.
Right, and we will be discussing that. But thank
Okay.
you for bringing that up.
All right,
That-
thank you.
That seems like something that needs to be discussed, at
Okay,
the very least. Thank you.
thank you.
All right, who wants to be next, Mr. Kislick? Be careful.
Good evening, Town Council. John Kislick, 65 Forestville Avenue. I'm going to ask for myself if I can get an extra minute. I was looking at minutes from Capital Projects Building Committee, and I have some comments on the committee and on the middle school project. You know, four of the guys that are still on that committee I served with, and the committee overall is great. They're good, they're qualified and everything. And one guy I want to point out, Tom Lozo, worked for him. He's really good. He's a stickler on detail. I mean, he kind of set one of the engineers in place who had a little bit of attitude. So all these guys are qualified. Some specialize in their own trade and whatever. But what I want to say, not one of them is an expert in all phases of that project. So with that being said, I have minutes here from Tina Grigas. And like I said before, when Tina does minutes, it's like you were at the meeting. And I can even sense the tension in that meeting with some of this. The town manager suggested having an owner's representative project manager. And the committee doesn't seem to want to have that. And I really don't understand it, because a project manager is going to help them. He's not going to take away any of their duties. And that's the other thing I want to know, if you can answer me later, if you ever gave them a charge for their duties and responsibilities. But this will not take away from them. It'll be a big help. They say a couple of them show up every once in a while during the week to check it. Project manager is going to be on there every day. In my opinion, I had to write some of this stuff down because this is a real touchy one for me. That you know, project manager will keep an eye on things day to day. You know, make sure the proper workers are there, they're licensed. This is stuff the committee can't do. And with a contingency, with a $61 million project, contingency should cover this position with no problem. And not only that, somebody who's good will actually save us money. They'll be on top of change orders or just anything that changes in there. Extras, that they'll stay on top of it, which the committee isn't qualified to do that stuff. They don't have the time. And the other thing too, with the corruption that has been prevalent in this program, this would be another piece of protection for the town to see when you go to the final review with the state. We'll have somebody else there that can document all this stuff. And I believe the town manager really has a reason for this. He experienced it before, but it'll make his job easier and his team, which includes the finance department, our building official. And I wish that this council would consider that. I mean, I don't know, these guys shouldn't feel bad like you're taking something away from them. It's help. And I really wish this council would consider what the town manager wanted. I served on them committees. I'm paying taxes in this town. And like I said, this council's been pushing for this project for a long time. And I'm asking you, let's do it right. Let's not take any chances of messing up. This is an extra step that's going to be good for you, good for the taxpayers, and for our town employees to be able to handle a really complicated project. This is $61 million. It's not a little thing. There's a lot of money in this thing. And a lot of people get funny when there's a lot of money floating around. So I appreciate if you will take that into consideration.
Okay.
Thank you for the extra time.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I just have a question because I need some clarification. Is that the project manager, that would be someone separate from the capital projects committee? It would be a different person that's hired?
It would be an outside professional firm or professional individual
Okay.
or firm. You would essentially have an architect
Mhm.
and you would have a construction manager at risk. This would be a third layer in terms of an owner's rep being the eyes and ears of the town and answer to the committee.
Okay.
And as John said, that was my argument about saving money. It costs money to
Right.
hire this firm, but there's ability to scale it back. The person doesn't need, a person or persons or the team doesn't need to be on site, 12 hours a day kind of thing, every single day. We could scale it back and still get the benefit and the value of watching those change orders or the process the payments to the state. There's a lot, but again, to the committee, they felt that they did have the expertise, and certainly Council
Right.
Gettleman was present and can speak to that as well.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
All right. You all set?
No, I'd just like to say, the last 4 school projects have all come in under budget, and they've never had an owner's rep, and that was their feeling going into this one, that they were able to handle it. But the discussion's not over.
Okay. So they're still open to at least discussing it. All right. Well, we'll make sure we relay this information to them, Mr. Kislick. Anyone else wish to address the council this evening? Mr. Frangos, good evening.
Okay. Lou Frangos, 10 Fairbanks Street. Before you put me on the clock, could I just say one thing? I've been coming many years with the science teacher in the class, and I was one of the town could give a special award to that instructor. I really mean it. Because these kids are, and when you're talking about, they don't talk about winning a reward. They talk about winning 4 places, and if it could be just a thought on my own, the teacher should be acknowledged. I'm on the clock. Okay. Quick one, and regarding the town manager now, this is a general question. Are you in office in Plainville 4 or 5 days a week?
So you did ask that question last time about does he fall under the 4-day
Yeah, is it a 4-day or a 5-day
policy?
week or part manager?
Well, he doesn't fall under the 4-day policy.
Okay, so it's 5 days.
Well, he's 20. Like I said, he's 24/7 as far as I'm concerned.
Okay,
So,
you're not answering the question.
well,
No, that's-
I don't
that's
think.
enough. No, you don't have to.
Well, because it's not a fair. I don't think it's the right question because
Okay, that's-
since he, as the chief operating officer of the town, he is available
I understand.
24/7. Now, again, we'll go back to this back and forth. Is
No,
he
no,
physically
no,
in
and
the
it won't
building
come up
5 days a week? But we've hashed that over, I think, enough. But
No, it won't come up again. You've already answered the question.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll go to this. This is chapter 4 of the town chart. A town manager herein referred to as the manager. At the time of appointment, the manager need not reside, be a resident of the town or the state, but during the tenure of office, the manager shall reside in town. That's charter. The second thing is, it was a year ago we had a vote, and the people of Plainville voted. One of the questions was asked, and unanimously asked, when is the town manager going to live in Plainville? And we're still blowing. Oh, yeah, I think it was overwhelming. Well, I stand to be.
well, no, the question was whether or not to get rid of the residency requirement as is outlined in the charter.
And in essence, they said no. So
They said no. I'm not sure. Overwhelmingly, I mean, that's
Oh, okay,
again.
but
That's
they said no.
they said no. I will
Nothing's
agree
been
with that.
done on that level.
Correct.
Okay, I believe it is. I believe it is nearing contract time. I'm assuming this will be resolved by the town council before any contract is signed, meaning the residing owner. Am I correct on that?
I can't answer that
Why?
because I can't speak for all 7 of us. I mean, I can tell you what my
What I'm asking is the town council going to say if and when the town manager, for example, will say, no, I'm staying wherever it may be. The town council then has to react accordingly. That you can't avoid. It has been avoided so far.
and then you're up to speed with where we are, and we are discussing it, and we've started that process with the town attorney. What I would say is I don't want you to assume that my lack of answering your questions or giving you the answer you think I should be giving you. You know, don't feel that we're ignoring this. The council is taking this very seriously, and we understand what we're doing. So I just don't want you, because I know you get frustrated, just like I get frustrated. But I don't want you to feel that you're going away not getting the answers you want. But we do take this seriously. We are working on it, and yes, our desire as a council is to get this resolved.
And if I may respond to that, all right. I'm talking about charter. I'm not talking about, I said this before at the last meeting, Lou Frangles. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a charter. And it doesn't seem that I can get a charter type answer to that question. It's
Correct.
Invasive.
It's not a black and white question. There's a lot of gray area in this. And
how is there? It says right in our town charter. It says,
well,
there's nothing gray.
And again, I don't want to get into I've been advised by the town attorney not to get into the details of this. And again, I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to not answer your question, but I do have to respect the town attorney's recommendation. We are working on it, and the desire is to resolve this as soon as we can. And at that time, we will certainly be making it well known what we've done.
And in due respect, all right. Maybe because, and I thought about this myself, all right. Maybe because of my exposure to prior town councils and prior to managers. All right. And when I asked the same question at that given point in time, there was an answer. And some of the answers I did not like, but I got the answer. And I rest my case. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
Yep. All right. Is there anyone else that wishes to address the council this evening? Anyone else? Not that there's too many left. Don't need to put anyone on the spot. All right. I'll go ahead and close public comments. We have no old business this evening. We can move to item 11, new business. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Christopher.
Motion to establish a public hearing in the Municipal Center for Monday, June 17th, 2024 at 7 p.m. to hear public comment regarding an ordinance entitled Ordinance Establishing Fourth Quarter Transfers for Fiscal Year ending June 30th, 2020. Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2.
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman Tompkins.
motion to establish a public hearing in the Municipal Center for Monday, June 17th, 2024 at 7 o'clock p.m. to hear public comment on the use of coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds associated with the American Rescue Plan Act.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3.
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Moranti.
Motion to approve the revenue collector suspense list.
Second.
Motion and second. Any comments or questions on the suspense list? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item 4.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Gettleman.
Motion to set the town council regular meetings for July, August, and September as July 15th, 2024, August 19th, 2024, and September 16th, 2024.
Second.
All right, a motion in a couple seconds. And just as always, traditionally we have set one meeting per month for the summer months. We do obviously we can always set a special meeting if we need to, if something comes up that needs to be addressed sooner than that. So with that said, any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item 5.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Tompkins.
motion to approve and authorize the town manager to execute all documents pertaining to the acceptable recyclable processing agreement between Bristol Resource Recovery Facility Operating Committee and the town of Plainville, Connecticut, and Murphy Road Recycling, Inc.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any comments, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. And item number 6.
Chairman,
Councilman Hurley.
motion to approve the tax refunds as listed on the addendum.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any questions or comments on the tax refunds? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Any other discussions of interest this evening from anyone? Okay. We do have a couple matters for executive session. I'd ask for a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
And just for purposes of the minutes, the first item is land acquisition, and the second is the Connecticut General Statutes 1-206E and 210B5B. Everyone going into executive session. The people, the town attorney, town manager, assistant town manager, the 7 of us. And since you're going to be here, Dean, what first you're going to be here for dog licenses? Yeah. You want to stay, you can. All right. So did we covered all that? All right. So I'll take all those in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? All right. We'll go into executive session. I'll give 5 minutes to everyone if you